Vanna.
Did you get my walk?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I'm channeling Vanna.
Yeah, nice.
Vanna White, who does not age.
Yeah, never.
You could do worse, Bill.
Out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Nice.
Danger. I was waiting for it. Pray for me. Danger online. A young woman looking for work finds her killer instead, and now police out of Boston think this man could be a potential suspect. Security being stepped at hotels across the city after 2 people were attacked. 1 was killed after responding to an online advertisement. Julie Banderas live in Boston now. Julie, good morning to you. Has the Craigslist killer struck again?
That is the question that now police in Boston and in Rhode Island are asking themselves this morning. It seems as though possibly he has struck again. Last night in Rhode Island, there was a woman staying at a Holiday Inn Express, and apparently somehow she was in her hotel room with her husband. Her husband stepped out for a moment. A man walked in, fitting the same description as the guy that they're looking for here in Boston. Blonde hair, clean cut, young guy. Bound her up with plastic cords around her wrist. The husband walked in, managed to scare the guy off, and he fled, but it was an attempted robbery, very much like the 2 cases here in Boston. However, the one here at the Copley Marriott ended in murder.
Why do they describe this person as the Craigslist killer? What's the connection with the internet there, Julie?
All 3 of these women apparently met him through the internet. The 2 women here in Boston had placed ads for massage services. Now we're just getting word that the police in Rhode Island are actually telling us that she had actually posted her services for a private dance, and that she worked, in fact, at a strip club in Rhode Island. So they're all connected somehow, but we don't necessarily know, for sure if they are. But the woman here at the Copley Marriott apparently was the victim of a robbery, not a sexual assault. She tried to fight back, and that's when she was shot multiple times in her torso, Bill.
Wow. Julie Banderas, thank you. It's a big story in the Northeast, and we'll run it throughout the day here. Thank you, Julie. 36 minutes now past the hour. A bit of a change. You kind of, some days, you could probably go as Vanna White for Halloween some year. You know
what? When I was in college, people said they saw a resemblance.
I know. If I looked as good as Pat Sajak as his age, I'd be very happy about that.
Bill.
I'm telling you.
I'll take it as a compliment.
Give me that eye.
Well, heavy-set passengers forced to pay extra on planes for encroaching on the seat next to them. And how about cheerleading coaches getting fired for posing in Playboy? I stopped by the O'Reilly Factor last night. He and I did a little battle on some of the lawsuits making headlines.
All right, United Airlines says if you're a chubby person and you take up one seat and part of another, you got to pay for both.
If you are encroaching.
Encroaching.
Basically, you have to be able to put down the armrest and stay on your side without encroaching on the other person's seat. Listen, this is an unfortunate situation. You have to feel for overweight people who go through this life with such bias and such cruelty against them. They don't need further humiliation when they try to fly. But having said that, as a legal matter, you have to understand the airline's position. They have other passengers who also paid a fare for their seat, and they want to have their entire seat.
But here's the problem with that. What are you going to, when you bring a bag in, they have a little thing where you have to put the bag in the little slot to see if it fits?
Yeah.
What, are they going to put the guy in the slot?
You got to go sit in your seat. You got to go sit in your seat.
So they're going to charge you? They're going to come around with a little credit card thing?
Well, this happens. First of all, when you make the reservation as a heavy person, you know if there's going to be a potential issue, probably because you've flown before. So a lot of times they raise it in advance, and it's not an issue, right? And the deal for most of these airlines, including this one, this is now happening on 8 different airlines, 5 of them major, is they say if you encroach on the other seat and we can give you the other seat, it's not a full flight,
right,
no
but if
problem.
We can, you got to pay extra.
But if we can, if it's a full flight, you got to pay extra. So,
okay.
I mean, I will tell you this. One airline, I wrote it down, Jetstar, so ridiculous, it made the person buy 2 seats. The 2 seats were not next to each other on the plane. I mean,
so what, you have to run from one to the other? Now, my question is, does he get 2 bags of pretzels? If you get an extra seat, do you get more pretzels? All right.
I hope so.
We're not making fun of heavy people, ladies and gentlemen. We're having a little fun with Miss Smarty Pants over here. That's all we're doing.
But Jetstar, you better look into that.
Okay, students praying at a community college, was it?
Yeah.
In San Francisco, of course, or near San Francisco.
Your college.
So they were just praying for somebody who was ill, and they got what? What happened to them?
It's even worse than that. This one student goes into a professor's office. The professor's sick. She says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me offer a prayer for you." The professor doesn't openly join in the prayer. She just bows her head as she's being prayed for by this student. Another professor comes in. I want people to know his name. It's Derek Piazza. Professor comes into the room, catches them in the act.
Of praying.
And starts shouting at them. "You can't do that in here. You can't do that in here." The poor students like, oh.
Shouldn't we have a tea party in front of Derek's house?
Oh, I'm sorry, but Derek's got to get a,
All right, so
speaking of reality check, he needs a grip.
Student is suing and it's going ahead. I'm running
The
out of
lawsuit
time
was
here.
allowed to go forward.
Another teacher, cheerleader teacher, roll tape here, fired for posing in Playboy, correct?
Yeah. She's
Own
a cheerleading
time, though.
coach.
Own time.
I don't think she's a teacher. She's a cheerleading coach. Own time. Doesn't matter. As most at-will employees, meaning you don't have an employment contract, you don't have a union, you're not tenured, you can be fired for any reason. They could have decided they didn't like the color of her eyes. They didn't like the way she painted her fingernails. Any reason, as long as it's not an illegal reason like you're black or something like that.
Is that a tattoo?
I wasn't looking that closely.
Okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't either. That's why I'm asking.
She's got no case.
No case. She's fired. She's out of there.
She's out of there.
If you're with the kids, you don't do that.
I hope she got some good dough from Playboy because she's going to need it.
Oh, nicely done.
Was that a tattoo?
I agree with you on the teacher. She's gone.
She's out of there.
But how about the fact that the parents whose daughters didn't make the team were the ones who ratted her out?
Sour grapes.
Oh, my.
I know.
And on the airline story?
Yeah.
How stupid are you?
What do you mean?
If I'm the CEO of an airline, it's not a legal issue. It's just it's a PR issue. Why would you?
You're wrong, Bill, because they did it because they got thousands of complaints from people who are being encroached upon.
I understand what you just argued, but if I'm running that company, I need business, man. I don't want to drive anybody away. I don't want to turn anyone off.
But
when I get on those
passengers who are being encroached on are being driven away.
When I get on those airlines and I see someone who is
heavy.
Yeah, I feel badly for them.
So of course,
I want to help them out. I want to give them that seat. And you fly on airlines today, there are empty seats all over the place. Certainly they can find two together.
Listen,
anyway,
having
a lot of sympathy. If I was running that airline, I wouldn't do it.
people I love in my life who are very heavy set. It's not about bias against heavy people. It's that when you get on that plane and we're talking, morbidly obese, and they are halfway into your seat, and you're a big guy yourself, or you literally can't fit in your seat, you're going to complain. And this has come up on full flights when people cannot accommodate them. They cannot move, so they are forced to spend their trip like this.
All right, we can keep going.
Yeah, so you can understand both sides, really.
What time's O'Reilly air anyway?
Mr. Bill O'Reilly has a show. It's 8 p.m. Monday through Friday.
There are only 3.5 million people watching every minute.
I join him on Tuesdays and Thursdays for these segments, but check him out tonight because he'll have another crazy guest.
All right. In a moment here, she's accused of cyber stalking, and you have to see what happened when a reporter gives this costume shop owner a chance to tell her side of the story.
I love this.
Let's just say she probably didn't help her case.
You cannot miss this story. Stay tuned for nothing other than this today if you want, but watch that.